Hi everyone, I'm Russ.
I am Mark.
And this is a spirited endeavor.
Priming the pump.
That's right.
All right, so
This one's local.
it is.
Well, ish.
Now we've done an Old Fourth previously,
Yes, we have.
and we really liked it.
Yeah, we did.
All right, so they just released this one. It is a Old Fourth distillery, and it's bottled in bond.
Mm-hmm.
So 50% ABV.
Yep.
Aged at least 4 years. We had a little bit of issue with Old Fourth the last time.
We did.
And it was just a little quibble, but because they didn't really spell out that their whiskey was sourced.
Agreed. Yeah, you had to read the fine print.
You really had to get in there.
Yeah.
This is still a sourced whiskey by MGP of Indiana.
Yeah.
Which makes fantastic whiskey. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
And
sure. So.
the last Old Fourth bottle we got, which was sourced from MGP in Indiana, was really good.
It's a fantastic
The
whiskey.
only complaint we had was, again, they did not make it very clear that it was sourced from MGP. This one they've done better.
Yeah, this one's different because right here on the back, I mean, they, and loud and proud, they show that it is a source whiskey.
Yeah.
Now, I know that they're distilling their own, but it's not ready yet.
Right. And this is not uncommon with newer distilleries. You know, look, distilling whiskey is a major investment. You're buying a lot of stuff up front, and you have to age it, which means you're not making money off of it. And that's why you'll see a lot of places making vodka, gin, stuff of that nature, because there's no age required for that. In the meantime, as far as bourbon is concerned or whiskey is concerned, oftentimes you'll see them, sell source stuff that they've bottled and maybe aged in their own rickhouse.
Absolutely. So, and they do make a gin, they do make vodka. So, I mean, they're doing everything they're right in order to prop up their distillery, and we give them full kudos for that because we're really, really anxious to see what they're going to produce.
Yep. Now, that said, the one thing you need to look out for whenever you're buying whiskey that you're not familiar with, you go travel and you find something that's local and you want to pick up a bottle, happens to me all the time, look for distilled by. Has to be somewhere on the label because that's the only thing that matters. If it doesn't say distilled by, then really you can't be too sure. And they are perfectly transparent on this one. You just have to look at the back of the label.
Absolutely. And it's Old Fourth Distillery. We're gonna try it.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw Bottle and Bond, I was just like, oh yes, let's make this happen.
I will say they still have the big old toppers on there. Now they got rid of the raised because the previous bottle didn't have the label on it. It had like a raised kind of metallic.
Yeah, it was like a little
doodad.
embossed, metal
embossed.
plate
That's a
on
much better word than doodad. Thank you.
Doodad. But man, this topper, I mean, you put that in a sock, you can knock somebody out with that.
Oh yeah, that's a blanket party waiting to happen.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's get into this one.
Awesome. Whiskey time. Yeah, real curious about this. Now, MGP makes some great stuff, and I don't know if it was a selection process last time or maybe the aging that they did beyond, whatever. But the last time we had Old Fourth, that was a really nice whiskey.
Yeah, and also synthetic cork on top of this thing.
Yes. So they hold up well. Bam.
I don't even think you have to add a
no, there will be no sound effect for that one. Not necessary. Now, I will say this is a little paler than I expected. I mean, it's a dark gold, bordering on amber.
Nice oils on it. It does look a little thin in the glass.
A little bit. I mean, the oils are great, but I will say, viscosity-wise, it does seem a little thin. Oh, okay.
All right. That's
not real punchy on the nose.
No.
It's not dark and moody. It's not right up in front of smacking you around.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say this because this smells like a bourbon, like a
stereotypical
middle of the road bourbon.
Yep, really does. Yeah, I would say the nose for me is not terribly impressive. That doesn't mean it doesn't taste good, but I would just say my first impression is not especially positive as far as the nose is concerned.
I'll kind of take that in a different direction. Everything there's nothing that's off-putting about this.
Agreed.
It feels like a very safe choice for a whiskey.
No, well said. I would agree with that.
I mean, it's very pleasant, and I love the smell of a bourbon. So don't take that as a negative whatsoever.
Agreed.
All right.
All right.
Let us do it.
Cheers.
That is delicious.
That is. That's tasty. Oh, nice little burn at the tail end too.
Little burn at the table.
Yeah.
Little sugary. It's not really brown sugar. I'm thinking more honey on that. It's got a nice oakiness that sort of just plays well with everything.
So, viscosity wise, nice oils on it on the palate. It sticks around a minute afterwards too. It's not a real abrupt finish on this one. I like that. I wouldn't say that the taste is especially bright, but it's not real dark and moody either. It's kind of it's middle ground.
Yeah, again, this is kind of like if you're looking for a bourbon and you want something that's a bourbony bourbon, this is it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Typical corn sweetness, I think, is primarily what I'm getting on this one. No cherry or anything like that. Just that nice corn sweetness, a little bit of oak to it. Again, not real heavy on the char, in my opinion. It doesn't taste like charcoal or licking a briquette.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't aim toward, it doesn't really lean more toward the caramel nature. It doesn't, I'm not getting any cherry or anything on that.
No.
Not a lot of fruit on this. But man, is that tasty.
Now this one to me has that kind of lemony after the finish, and it starts tapering off. I get a little bit of that lemony nature, and that's probably just my palate personally.
Yeah,
I get that with some, not all bourbons, but there are some bourbons, oddly enough, where I get that kind of lemon zest, just a hint of it at the very tail end of the finish, and I'm getting that here. But nothing unpleasant about this one. I don't think I'd rate it quite as high as I rated the last one, though.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I preferred the last one a little bit more.
It does have a like a hard candy finish to it.
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't quite get the lemon like you do, but that's okay. But it does have that, like hard candy finish. Something that's sweet and everything too, and kind of lingers for just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you. I think the last Old Fourth we had was a little bit more interesting.
I agree. There was a little bit more going on with that one. I thought it was a little bit darker and more mature in the way it presented itself.
Yeah.
Compared to this one.
But I think this has actually matured longer, and maybe it mellowed it out a little bit.
That may be. I mean, for summer, I think this is actually not a bad fit. I think this is one that you could make a cocktail with. I think you could certainly use this one with ice.
Yeah, this would hold up. You know what? Let me put a drop of water in this one.
You know what?
I think it could. I think it's going to hold up to it well.
I think so, especially with the oils. All right. Let's see what we get here.
It pushed all the flavor back, and then it's like really spicy.
Yeah, I agree. That did nothing for me. Yeah, I mean, not bad, but not especially complex or anything outstanding, unfortunately, in my opinion. Now, your mileage may vary. Everybody's taste is subjective, but for me, this one is not. I think I'd prefer the previous bottle.
Yeah, maybe so. In fact, I'd love to pull that out and kind of do a taste test.
We may have to revisit that one.
We might have to do that.
In the meantime, what are you thinking on our scale?
It's a delicious whiskey.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm just gonna go there now. I'm gonna say a 3.5.
I'm gonna go 3 on this one.
Okay.
I'll own it. I'm picky. A little high maintenance too. But no, it's not a bad whiskey by any stretch of the imagination. I think my memory of the previous one may be kind of screwing this one up a little bit.
Perhaps.
So we'll have to revisit that one, and when we do, I think maybe a comparison would be really interesting.
Yeah, a little side by side on that might be worth doing.
That'd be fun. Be a study in MGP as well as Old Fourth and what they're doing with it. So, anyhow, hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah, we sure did. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Interesting.